Hi. Oops, I don't mean to be here now. Instead, what I mean is, it's this.
One, two, three.
Really smooth, Paul.
I got to
really
get you above
smooth.
your name. I got to get me above my name.
Very smooth. Very all of that just executed. I think we need to come in from the show like this more often. We need to start the show in the exact same pose. And welcome to the show.
G.I. Joes make that pose a lot too.
Oh, that's my favorite. You know, you would know more than anybody that I've been working on superheroes.
Right up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my favorite thing is that, and especially in the cartoon Mask. I'm a big fan of the cartoon Mask. If we ever do start a Patreon, I'm just going to have my own separate channel that's just me reviewing episodes of Mask. But my favorite is, and they do this at the end of Super Friends, whatever, the funny sidekick character, whether it's Gleek or T-Bob or Orko, will end the episode. This was such a format with some sort of misunderstanding, and they all go, ha, 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 and they always cut above them, and they're always holding their neck with laughter. They go, ha, 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 dee, 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 and then it goes into a little science lesson or whatever, you know.
Are they repeating shots too? Are they like every time they laugh, it's the same aerial shot?
Yes. I probably think they put a different backdrop on it, but it's always the same group going. And then on to the safety tip: pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Does everybody know what that means? Does everybody know pork chop sandwiches?
All right, let's see. So it's the strike goes on. So Harrison Ford's not out doing stuff, but there's plenty of old stuff he's done that we should talk about today.
Yes. Paul, what are those old things that he's done?
Well, let's see.
Well, we got one coming up.
Actually, I don't even know if this is old, but this is just some fan did this, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought you would appreciate it. Oh, come on!
Come on! That's the theme for today's show. As I'm pulling all of this equipment out of my luggage at like 3:02, the first thing it doesn't work. Come on! That's the theme.
I know. I pulled all these clips, and now, of course, they're not showing up. Only 3 of them are showing up. Yeah. All right. So, Adam, do something interesting.
Do something interesting? Yeah. Let's see. Let me tell a Vegas story real quick. Let's see. Who is Cypher 8, by the way? Is this a favorite movie?
I don't know.
Well, they don't know us.
Yeah, clearly. What
hey,
you tuned into, pal?
Cypher 8. Wrong question. If you want to show up and pretend you're a part of the crew here, I think everybody knows the answer there. David McKay, what's our favorite movie of all time? Oh, wait.
Oh, okay.
All right, Hollywood Homicide.
Well, still, you don't know me. It's La La Land. There you go.
Oh, after the 2000s. La La Land. What would be mine after the 2000s? I just have the strangest feeling. It's Mission Impossible Fallout. I treat that movie like a masterpiece, and it very well might be. Here, Paul, I started here's what I will do in answer to this question, Cypher 8. Skyfer, there's an X in it. Cypher 8. Cypher 8. I will. I have run a. I have a on the.
Oops! Ignore that.
Oh,
that's today's show.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
I have the Crazy Magazine parody of Blade Runner that I want to do sometime on here. Let's see. Now I'm looking at my top on Letterboxd here. I'm looking at my top. I have accrued my top 60 films.
Damn.
I'm going to say the one after 2000. Oh, well, this is cheating. Is Avengers Endgame. But let's say the less boring answer after the 2000s would be Avengers Infinity War. Okay, that's a boring answer. Let's say non-superhero movie, Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Really?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that's up there. That's up there. Who are you? All right, I don't know what's happening here. Either somebody really gets us or doesn't know us, because this is either funny or
He's entertaining, David. That's what
yeah,
matters.
I like it. Yeah, it's absolutely.
All right. Well, here I showed you a little hint of what I wanted to show you.
Yeah,
Some
what do we
artists
got here?
combined Indiana Jones and Tintin.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
thought so.
kind of a, I mean, obviously it's a Spielberg film, Tintin.
Correct.
Tintin. So that goes together. And, the fact that Spielberg was a fan of Tintin and, that sort of the swashbuckling adventure in Tintin is like Spielberg saying, look, here's all the stuff I could never do in a Raiders movie, and so it's like the ultimate version. Like, you look at the Last Crusade and, you at the beginning when he says, when he gets the cross back, when we, tip back up to the hat, amazing cut in Last Crusade. He's on a boat. It's awesome. We've never seen him on a boat. We've never seen him do a pirate riff, and it's the Cross of Coronado, and he dumps on jumps off the thing and it's an explosion. However, it's so old school. It's just a dump tank and a fake ship, and that's it. Like it's real simple. But you look at Tintin and you're like, oh, that ship is now going through this and exploding, and all the pirates, like everything he's ever wanted to do in a pirate shape.
Yeah, that much is true, David.
Oh yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah. That weird sort of shot in Tintin that's like it's an uncut, it's a oneer, but of course it's animation, so it's easy. Wow. But he did that. Yeah, I think that whole chase scene, it reminded me of that for sure.
Well, easy in terms of technical shooting, but in terms of conceiving it, you still have to have one thing move into the next.
Of course, yeah, the choreography is still.
And the choreography in Tintin, obviously they're pushing that to its max because it's Spielberg going, here's something you could never do. I've done a mine car chase. I saw how big a pain in the ass that was. I've shot on water. I know how big a pain in the ass that was. Now let me do all those things in a computer, knowing I won't have a heart attack trying to achieve them, and do a famous Spielberg oneer, but the biggest oneer of all time, in that sort of thing. But it's interesting because, that's sort of the digital, storyboarding technology, the previs, has merged. So at one time they had, people would write it all down, draw it all out, and then that went to a computer and they could previs their physical shoots. But digital wasn't that big a deal on sets yet. They were just using previs as a shortcut. Then that previs started to move. They started doing previs that moved. And by that time, digital technology had caught up to the fact that they would then take the previs and then just make it the movie. They would just like render it out better. So that's kind of interesting that the tuk-tuk chase is exactly what they couldn't do physically with Tintin, but the same technology to choreograph it. They had a map of all those streets because, as I've told you, even though I've heard reviews that have said otherwise, I've seen it more than those reviewers, that the choreography is the geography is really, really good. When you see someone have to veer off to a right because of something that Indy's doing, and you realize these streets are all kind of like pie-shaped, you're like, he's going to meet him at the next intersection. Like, it's just a matter of time, suspense-wise. And sure enough, here comes the other car. And then they got to stop him there. So anyway, it's very Tintin.
Well, I don't know Adam Murphy, but he went through and he did all the films. Now, I used to have them in order. Then they went away, and now I've put them back.
So this is the general one here.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's
not it. My gosh.
No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, all right, there we go.
There we go.
So anyway,
it's funny. You only got
I love it's just Indy too. Indy and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So much more.
That's true. That's very Tintin
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indy, your buddy. Look, he's waving at you. Hey, I'm Indy.
Oh my gosh, Spider's not such a bad fella. That's that right one right there. Spider's not such a bad fella. No, I haven't had time to put anything into the show today, but we still have that clip, don't we? No, Spider's not such a bad fella.
If you push the button, yeah.
Yeah.
But Spider's not a bad fellow.
That's close enough. No, here's the real one.
But Spider's not a bad fellow.
He's not on screen for that.
Yeah. All right. So then there was Temple of Doom. And it's like, what 4 frames would you pick from that movie? It's kind of fun alone. That is a game in itself.
Yeah.
You got the
I love the
fight.
word bubble with the antidote. And captured a pretty icon. I love that Short Round gets his little kick there, which is such a great moment in the movie when he's Oh, he jumps on the guy's ladder and then grabs the rope on the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's such great swashbuckling stuff. I love that. Always love that piece.
Minecart chase, bridge fight. Yeah, that's about it.
And that's a great composition. The Sankara stones. I love that shot in the movie as well, where they're both holding the bag and physically in between them, it's burning through the bag. You're like, just let's show in one shot, let's take a maestro of movie storytelling and in one shot show this struggle. And you got one hand on this one side of the bag, one hand on the other, and then it's burning through the center. That's so great. As Indy says the thing.
Here's your last crusade. A young Indy, of course, has to represent.
That's perfect. Well, and yeah, he's the more Tintin character.
It's a fake. And then
it's a
bike
fake
chase.
Oh,
we
wow.
could have used a shot of the tank, but I suppose you got to have an emotional moment at the end.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, I'd rather they go for that than the after the Grail, But I do love that the motorcycle with the little sidecar is like up in the air, all comically.
Yeah. He's holding on to his hat, the whole deal. I like Indy's face too after he's been hit by the vase. Like,
with the little star. Oh my gosh, so cute.
Crystal Skull.
Oh, like the word bubble with the
with the nuke in it.
Nuke in it. Oh, these are good. It's just the question mark with the skull. That's interesting. That the third one, walking through the marketplace, that is an odd cut. Oh, but it is one of the best moments in the movie. Is the where he mentions the name of
Pancho Villa.
He rode with Pancho Villa against. So yeah, that's Pancho Villa. But immediately when you say the name of there's the guy whose name you have to spit after you say it. Spit and stomp on the ground. I forget what it is. But it's like, yeah, Pancho Villa and I we fought. What the hell's his name? Yeah, it's a step on the ground. You say, love that.
No wait, and there's Dial of Destiny. So there's the tuck fitting right in, just like we were talking about.
Yeah,
you have to include that because it's very Tintin-y.
Man, flashlights in caves. Well, torches in caves is perfect, but of course this was an updated one, so they had flashlights. But wandering through caves with a torch, it's just so good. What was I watching the other night? Some kind of mummy thing. I forget where I saw this, but anytime someone's walking through a cave with the torches, that's just such a cool look. And I love when there's torches lining the wall that you have to light as you go to light up the room. That's just.
And I say most of the time you get kids on bikes. I'll watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
Torches in caves, kids on bikes.
Kids on bikes. Yeah, exactly. When the kids, have to, that's such a great moment in E.T. when it turns to kids on bikes, that's sharp turn to we have to save E.T.
Explorers,
and then it's Goonies.
I'll watch all those. Yeah.
Oh, incredible. Well, that's cute.
Let me make a quick announcement here. The final episode of Countdown to 5 has come out where Justin Bowler joins Sean Blodgett and myself, and we kick around the final movie. So it is out on audio now and will be on video tomorrow. So that'll be over on the YouTube page. It's posted to movieguys.net right now, though, if you want to check it out. We kick around Dial of Destiny as if Adam and I haven't enough here. We have more comment over there. Plus, Justin brought some games. Guess if this was a real Indiana Jones book or not, because there have been tons of adventures in book form, I guess. And so, what were they? And we just had a grand old time talking about the movie again, because now, but let me share something really fun with you that something I'm super proud of. We got Justin Bowler there, who was in the center to play Indiana Jones for us. He played Indiana Jones in Disneyland Park back when Crystal Skull came out. And so we said, could you play Indy one more time for us? Because we want to do recaps of these Indiana Jones movies. But we want to do it different. So we had Indiana Jones himself recap the Indiana Jones movies. And here is, and I'll share these with you in the future, but we'll start with, this is Indiana Jones recapping Raiders from our Raiders of the Lost Ark Countdown to 5 episode, which is out now. They're all out now. But here it is. You're probably wondering, what is Raiders of the Lost Ark about? Naturally, that makes us think, who are you?
But even though it's one of the most popular movies ever made, we still want to recap it for our listeners and watchers because we have an extraordinary opportunity here. I mean, this is unprecedented.
Yeah, we have the most famous archaeologist himself Indiana Jones, to recap it for you. Now, this is incredible because we tried to get someone from the Star Wars franchise back when we were doing Countdown to 9, but they're all dead.
I mean, it was a long time ago.
The movie does lead with that. Anyway, we have exclusive footage of Indiana Jones reading from his diary, recounting the events of the story of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So let's go to that now.
I remember 1936. I mean, who doesn't remember the legendary Olympics with Jesse Owens? For the first time, Hoover Dam started generating hydroelectric power. Where was I? In South America, trying to recover a golden idol from a booby-trapped Peruvian temple. Trust me, this is not why I got an archaeology degree from the University of Chicago. So who's there waiting inside for me?
Cool.
Belloc. This guy was so jealous of me, it made his head explode. Well, spoiler alert, that's how it ended for him. Next thing I know, 2 Army intelligence guys want me to fill them in on the Ark of the Covenant. They're about as cordial as a kick in the groin and about as smart as, well, let's just say they lived up to the oxymoron of their name. But most importantly, Marcus greased a few palms, and I got the nod to retrieve the Ark before it fell into Hitler's hands, and he used it to create the most powerful army on Earth using lightning, fire, power of God or something. Well, it wasn't long until I ended up in Nepal and I reunited with Marion Ravenwood. I hadn't seen her since she was, well, I'd find myself in a bar fight that would make Ernest Hemingway jealous, trying to get my hands on the headpiece of the staff of Ra. A Gestapo agent named Tote grabs the medallion and the image gets burned into his palm. Good thing the medallion didn't hit him in the jaw or his face may have melted. Well, spoiler alert, that's how things ended for him. After traveling a long red line across the map, we end up in Cairo and I get to reconnect with my old friend Salah, who tells me the Nazis, with Belloc's help, are digging in the desert trying to find the Well of Souls, where the Ark is kept. Salah and I find out that because the burns on Tote's hands don't reflect both sides of the medallion, they're digging in the wrong place. And oh yeah, Marion died. Eventually, I share a moment with the best supporting actor in any story, John Williams' score, and find the location of the Ark using the correct size Staff of Ra on the map room. But as soon as we retrieve it, Belloc locks me in the tomb with Marion. Oh yeah, she's still alive. We eventually smash through the wall, and in a moment depicted far too simply in certain historical texts, I quote-unquote capture the truck carrying the Ark. The real story? I threw 7 Nazis out of a moving truck, knocked other vehicles and motorcycles out of the way, survived being thrown out of the window and dragged behind the truck, and even drove over one guy before stealing the truck entirely. Next, I end up on a U-boat with chocolate mousse from Top Secret and other sailors. Until, yep, the Nazis. Again. I have to ride their submarine to a Greek island to stay on their tail. And this isn't shown, but that involved holding my breath for 90 minutes. True story. Once there, I threatened to destroy the Ark with a rocket launcher, but I don't because the Nazis are my ride back to the mainland. And eventually, in a spiffy ritual, Belloc opens the Ark only to find inside it sand. Turns out, there is the lightning, fire, power of God or something I predicted, and it was enough to make Colonel Dietrich of the Nazi army jump out of his skin. Well, spoiler alert, that's how things ended for him. Eventually, the Ark is stored in a warehouse, where it will be examined by top men. You can hear more about their story in the sequel. Top Men, Maverick.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that was incredible. Holy crap. I mean, like, he's right there. And I mean, this like intimate, like home movies or so. I don't even know how. This is incredible.
That was him.
That was so cool.
That was Indiana Jones.
That was so
as
cool.
far as you know.
Wow, really well done. Who put all that together?
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
Sean did the majority of the
That's so fun.
of the editing, and I finally had to start helping out in the last couple. I'll play more of these in future episodes of our show because they're fun.
Yeah, well, and
But
that was
by Crusade and Crystal Skull, I was doing a little more editing, but I did all the writing and and obviously
fun.
Justin came in and did the voice, and we shot all that footage with him just down in, it's down in Mission Viejo,
Is that just him? Is that just greens? Everything but the desk is green screen or something? That's just
correct.
really
Yeah,
good.
the desk.
Yeah, and it's like slow pushing and everything. That looks really cool.
Yeah, and running through the woods. It's, just Mission Viejo by the lake.
Yeah.
So
how is his whip work?
outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he taught us how to do it. Do I have that here?
Well, see, I had one as a kid, Paul, and it just occurred to me recently that I really missed cracking a whip. And I started looking them up, and they make them out of paracord, like parachute cord now. I got to get a whip. I realized, like, okay, I bought a few action figures. I was like, I'm going to buy a couple more Indiana Jones. I think I'm going to buy a whip. I miss cracking that sucker. That was the best gift a kid could get in 1982. When my dad got back from North Carolina, and I cracked the hell out of that whip. And I was telling a story with some friends about remembering, like, when did you realize you were growing? So like, obviously there's the bathroom mirror, and suddenly I could see my nose, and suddenly I could see my mouth, and suddenly I could, by the time you could get in the mirror, you could pop a zit, because otherwise you watch yourself grow. But the other thing was that whip, I got that in 82, a year after Raiders came out, and it would hold up all of a 10-year-old body. I could whip it around the branch, and you could swing full feet all the way up. And then after a couple years, feet started dragging the ground. I had to lift my feet up a little more, and then it wouldn't quite hold my weight, and the leather was, I'm like, that's right, I'm getting larger. But for a 10-year-old, full, you could whip that thing, you could get your feet fully off the ground and just, do the full swing on the tree branch. But yeah, then I grew up.
Yeah, Justin, of course, learned all that stuff for Disneyland. So
Cool.
He still had the skills, though. That was him whipping it. I tried to do it, and I actually it didn't go too bad. The take I posted at one point on the...
You got to go up for, you don't try the around the head type thing first.
Yeah, you did, actually.
What?
And then you just do it off to your side.
Okay.
See how that
That
goes.
one always scared me. I was always just more the,
Brendan Marr dropping science.
Good point, Brendan Marr. I was going to bring that up because recently I watched Raiders, and this has always been exactly. The underwater was for combat when you were trying to hide from other ships and surprise other ships. If you were just traveling, particularly if you look at the map in Raiders, they're just going, 100 miles or something, and they're going between these two straits. You can't submerge actually in the straits because you'll crash. So Brendan, you are 100% correct. That is one of the things. It is actually accurate that he could lash himself to the top because submarines don't always go underwater. In fact, unless it's for combat. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know why. I just figured they didn't. But, they didn't submerge. I just figured, they didn't submerge, whatever.
Yeah.
Because next time you see it, it's still above water going into the...
Right.
thing.
It traveled above water because they are called U-boats, underwater boats. They're mostly boat, but they can go completely underwater. Yeah.
I think we shared a clip that they put together where he's, I don't have it, unfortunately. I think it's on my other computer, where they shot footage of him hanging on to like a telescope or something as it goes into the final bits of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't stay completely above water. So yeah, I think that shot is that it goes, slightly as it's traveling, the water is going to come up, and it's not going to stay in a perfect place for Indiana Jones. But yeah,
it would have been a comedy bit for him to have an ending to that trek like Captain Jack Sparrow did, where he kind of just goes under right when he hits the shore or whatever.
Right.
It bagged all that, thankfully. No bits necessary.
Well, since they bring back a lot of bits from previous movies they couldn't get in, do you think the little periscope thing on the tank, isn't there the thing where he's like fighting and he kicks it and hits the guy in the back of the head? I wonder if that was from the submarine thing originally, because the minecart chase was supposed to be on that island originally as well. So I assume our audience
really?
all knows. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that was how they were gonna transport it on rail to the place on the island for the thing.
Boy, they ran out of time.
Yeah. Oh, that was like too complex, and yeah.
Okay, I gotta again keeping the technical aspects of this show outstanding. Poor Roach Smythe is not here for me to announce that I'm going to see Faux Renner tonight. So I got at the top of the hour. But before I did, Adam had mentioned something that would be fun. It is, I give movie location tours, and it turns out if you wanted to spend a lot of money, because you have to drive all over hell, but you could do it. You could do an all Harrison Ford movie tour here in LA.
Very exciting.
So let's say you landed at LAX from out of town, right? And I was going to give you the tour. Well, hey, LAX, Dead Heat and a merry-go-round, right there.
There we go. Right.
You're starting the LA with a location from a Harrison Ford movie right out of the gate.
That is awesome. That's true. Perfect landing. Dead heat on a merry-go-round right there.
Yeah. Now, we tried to find the spot where Harrison Ford did his particular scene, and with limited time, I haven't figured that out yet. But
I'm going to bet that's a
will.
set.
Yeah, that probably.
It probably is set.
But you never know.
Paging Mr. Ellis. I mean, Paul, if we could find the actual lobby where he said the words, paging Mr. Ellis.
We bring Mark Ellis with us.
Of course.
Make it a moment.
That's the only Ellis we would page. Here, let me see if I can quickly bring that clip up. Watch this. Here we go. Yeah, this lobby. If anybody knows this lobby, you know what it probably was? It's probably that lobby
Paging
from...
Mr. Ellis. Paging Mr. Ellis.
Probably that lobby from The Graduate where Bobby Kennedy was shot, the Ambassador Hotel, because I can't believe I'd passed that so many times, and then they tore it down, and I was only then did I find out that was the location of the lobby from The Graduate. Are you here for an affair?
Are you here for an affair? Yeah. Oh, don't think I'm not here, buddy. Roach Smythe. Okay, you hadn't chimed in yet, so I wasn't sure. I'm always here, much like Adam's VD. All right.
What? Paging Roach Smythe.
Paging Mr. Ellis. Paging Mr. Ellis.
Roach Smythe.
Same idea. Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Okay, so you've landed at LAX, and
All
so
right, this is awesome.
You're already on the west side, right? So why don't you go over to the Venice Canals? Now, what have they shot at the Venice Canals? Of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, but also a quick scene from Hollywood Homicide.
Oh, really?
Josh Hartnett pulls a guy out of the water there in some scene with a low res photo. There'll be more of those. I couldn't find any great photos from Hollywood Homicide, but there
I'm buying
it is,
the Blu-ray, so yeah, for the show.
Hey, I have a Cobra kayak. Well, there you go.
Do you?
So,
Cobra! Cobra is the weather device.
That's a good tweet. So you're
can.
done with the west side. You head back up here. You want to start seeing where all the stuff is. You figure Hollywood Homicide. There's going to be places in Hollywood where they shot this movie, and you would be correct. But
All right.
let's say you went up 101 and then went up to 405 and came across the 101. So you're coming across the valley. Well, you want to stop at the church in North Hollywood where Indiana Jones was married. That happened right here in North Hollywood. I can't remember what the name of the church was. The First Christian Church, I think, of North Hollywood.
Wow.
And yes, there's a smaller chapel in there where Bob Wiley got married also at the end of What About Bob? So
amazing.
it is a and this was the church from Seventh Heaven. I mean, this is like a big time church for use in the movies.
So cool.
And there they are.
Wow.
The happy couple.
Headed out to North Hollywood.
Headed out to North Hollywood. Yeah, that's the thing. But then right across the way, I think, is like what's that? The hipster barbershop. It's right across the way. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And there they are enjoying a laugh. Right there.
Nice. I like that. I like that Shia LaBeouf. I'm glad he's in that. I like him in a lot of stuff. You know that, right?
Well, LaBeouf-essence has been interesting with Honey Boy and Peanut Butter Falcon and all that stuff, and a bunch of projects he didn't seem to.
Well, what's funny is he went full Yoko Ono, right? So he was doing his public exhibition art for a while, which I dig. I love all that stuff. I love Jean-Luc Godard. I like people that mess with it. You know, I just think, all right, I'm in. But and then he came out of that, and suddenly it's everybody's like, okay, and everybody that was just like, oh, we forgive that Honey Boy, all this sort of stuff. And then he did this whole thing, which was a fake. The Honey Boy was a fake story about his life as a child actor. And then they found out after and everybody's like, you know what? All's forgiven. He did this true story about his life. And then revealed about like a year later that like, no, I made that up. I had a pretty boring kid actor life. This was completely made up. And they were like, LaBeouf!
You'd have to include him being in Holes and, Project Greenlight movie. It was whatever.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious. Yeah, he's cool. I got this close to seeing one of those weird things where he would just sit in a room on Melrose in an art studio, and you could go up to him and do whatever you wanted. The whole point is you get in the room, and then you got like 2 or 3 minutes. You could talk to him. You could say something. He may or may not talk back. Most of the time, he didn't. He just sat there.
Yeah.
Like it's a super weird art installation.
Yeah.
I was in line for it. And I eventually had to bail. I'm like, I've been here an hour, and it's not getting any smaller. But that's kind of stuff that goes on if you live in LA. What else happens in LA? Well, you can see where they shot Journey to Shiloh.
What? Where?
I think I've told you this story, haven't I?
Oh, that's right.
It's on the Universal backlot.
Oh,
So
that's right.
it would be an expensive part of the tour because we'd have to get out of my car, pay
Yeah.
$100 to go into the theme park, and then take the tour. So it'd be a lot of time and a lot of money. But if you take the Universal backlot tour, just know when you're going through an area called 6 Points, Texas, where they shot, among other things, John Wayne and Kirk Douglas and James Stewart movies, but also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and some of the major scenes from Lancer. They also shot Journey to Shiloh here, and I think I may have said this before, but it was very funny when you're on the tour and you see a shot of a bunch of ruffians running up to a bar. It's from Journey to Shiloh, and I've seen that clip 100 times, but I never knew what it was from. It's just from a Western. And it's funny that they showed a scene of those guys running away from camera where we don't see James Caan's face and we don't see Harrison Ford's face. So instead, it's a bunch of guys, you don't know what it's from, but they could have said, hey, Harrison Ford shot here, and made a big deal out of it. They eventually use a clip of Harrison Ford in that movie for a Stars When They Were Young thing, like Bruce Willis on Miami Vice and a shot of John Travolta on Emergency 51 and all that kind of stuff. But if you're pounding the boards down there, the wooden sidewalks of 6 Points, Texas, this is where this very scene took place. Unfortunately, again, I don't have a picture of Harrison Ford in it, but there's Jimmy Caan. So,
we can find a shot of Harrison Ford here. Let's see how quick.
In the movie, sure, yeah, but at this location, it was tough.
This will have to substitute.
7 boys from Texas rode off to fight a war. 1,000 miles to Richmond was where they headed for.
Bud Burnett was their leader, the captain of this crew. The Indians made him orphan at the age of 2. Willie Bill was born in Pecos. 18 summers he has seen. He's old enough to soldier, but will he see 19?
18-year-old Harrison Ford,
Right,
according to the script.
Yeah. Even then, his agent would work for him to ensure that he was kept younger.
So coming down from Universal, you cut through the valley there. You could go by way of Laurel Canyon and see Mount Olympus, the property that Harrison Ford's desperately trying to sell in Hollywood Homicide as a side gig to being a cop. He's a real estate guy. He's trying to sell Mount Olympus. But eventually you get to Hollywood itself, and of course that's where a ton of Hollywood Homicide takes place. Do you remember this movie?
Thus the title.
Yes. Do you remember this movie much, Adam?
Oh, no, I've never seen it. This is one that I've never seen.
Oh, okay.
We're coming up on as much of a tranche of ones I haven't seen as how we opened the Ford Fiesta.
Yeah. Well, how about if you had a scene take place, like I think I told you when I lived in Hollywood, I was going to my bank and they were filming this action sequence from Hollywood Homicide, and I got to watch Harrison Ford shoot an action sequence.
Oh, wow.
Which was like, I mean,
incredible.
How long should I live here? Forever? Okay, good. I'll do it.
Yeah, I think
But
that's...
while there was an action scene going on,
Hey, this thing's paying out. I was just in Vegas for 3 weeks. Hey, you go to an ATM, that's the best. That's a Bart Caius joke. You go to an ATM, you get money out of it, and you turn around to the person, and you go, hey, this thing's paying out.
I'd get in on this. Yeah. So if a big action sequence took place in front of Grauman's and it was interrupting a star ceremony, what's a funny person to get a star that enters interrupting?
Oh, wow.
Who's getting a star where a big action sequence interrupts?
And it's going to be funny in 1996, right? 95
Yeah,
or
it's
something
not going to be hilarious, but it's going to be this kind of the right call.
Right. So somebody's getting a star. They're kind of made fun of at the time. Nicolas Cage?
No, deeper, older. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Robert Wagner.
All right.
That's not right?
That's awesome. Wow, look at that. That's 2 blocks from my house.
Yeah. And those scenes take place in front of
oh, wow. Hey, it's the Ovation Center.
Ovation, yes. And now I need to share this with you, especially if you haven't seen it. Adam, this might be the funniest Harrison Ford clip of all time. And we've looked at a lot of funny clips. We play them on the Asses of Subversive Painting, anything from Temple of Doom. But the scene that takes place in front of the Guinness World of Records Museum across the street.
This is my neighborhood, dude.
I know. He's needs to chase someone, so he's got to get somebody out of a car. They get a guy out of the car, they take the car, and they continue the chase.
Yeah.
What if it didn't go well? And I think that this makes for one of the funniest Harrison Ford scenes of all time. I'm not spoiling anything. You'll enjoy this, and then you'll enjoy the movie. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of the car! Police! Police, get out! Hey! Hey, look! Come on! Get out of here!
Hey, that's mine!
Amazing. Oh, that That was good. Well, that yell is going to, when we get to that movie, that yell is going to be pulled in perpetuity as a drop, man. That's a good one.
I remember that yell so much. I'm like, oh, I got to find that yell. It's the thing I remember most from that entire movie. Let's watch it.
Hey, get out of the car! Police! Police, get out! Hey! Hey, look! Come on, get out of here!
Hey, that's
Come here!
mine.
Ah!
Oh, right on.
Bitch!
Asshole.
Move, police!
Oh,
Move, move, move!
come on.
Damn it! You all right? Watch out! Move! Move! Move!
Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, our show loves some Harrison Ford yelling. That is some primo screaming.
It really is.
Wow.
Asshole.
Just yelling everyone to get out of the way. Oh my gosh.
That's right. That's your street.
That is. Oh my
street
gosh.
at the end of your street.
I remember the last time I went to that McDonald's. That was the first time I went to that McDonald's. Oh, that was so good. For all the great shouting that we love of Harrison Ford, we've never heard just a guttural. "Ah!"
He's like, I had enough. Just yelled at a kid like that, especially yelling at a kid. There you go. Move over, Paul Rubens,
Wow.
the comedy.
That's good. Yeah. He's good.
And he did. So he did move over, unfortunately.
Wow, that's really good, Paul. That's amazing. I've never seen a frame of that. That's the first clip I've ever seen of that movie.
Oh, good. Well, it continues to be weird.
Wow,
like
that's
that.
perfect.
Is there one more pick? Hang on here.
Oh
Let
my
me just make sure I'm not missing one.
Wow.
more.
That was really good. That was really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I had a shot. I don't know what happened. Why do I upload these pics and then they go away? But I uploaded a shot of the LAPD Hollywood station, the one on Wilcox. That's their station. In
The police station on
South of
Wilcox.
Sunset. Yeah.
Okay, Wilcox.
Just- But anyway, I had a shot of that. So anyway, you leave Hollywood, right, on our tour. We go up into the hills just a little bit. If you take a left on Vermont, like you're going up to the Greek, you'll pass by the Griswold house.
Right.
But you take a left.
Wait. Back it up, Paul. Are you bearing the lead here? Wait. So I'm on Franklin, right?
You're on Vermont.
Vermont.
You've gone down Franklin and up Western across Los Feliz.
Right. I used to drive that route all the time.
Take a left on Vermont. You go past the Griswolds.
Which
Chicago.
house is the Griswold
Their
house?
Chicago home is on the right, going up that way.
On Vermont in Los Feliz?
Yeah. All right, allow me. Here we go.
What? Awesome. I mean, I used to work in this neighborhood. I used to walk this neighborhood.
I can have that for you in 2 seconds. Here we go.
Wow. Incredible. Meanwhile, I'm looking for the More American Graffiti drop. Is that screaming on a bike? I'm like, oh, that puts me in the mind of something.
There we go. That is
what?
And there's the family roadster out front. That is on Vermont Avenue.
What?
Now you may know the one from Christmas Vacation. He puts all the lights on. Was
Yeah.
torn down recently on the lot you couldn't get to anyway. Remember, I told you they tore down Roger Murtaugh's house. They tore down Westview from WandaVision. They tore down the Bewitched head. They just tore it all down. So it sucks.
Well, I'm glad that one's still there. I had no idea, Paul. Paul, I am advertising the movie guys. Put up the advertisement here. I'm advertising that. I had no idea, Paul.
Oh, do I even have I don't even think I have a loaded graphic in here, but I can find one.
That's okay.
Yeah, so that's
Paul has a movie tour, you know.
Everybody picks that too. They all pick the
They do?
The Griswold house. Yeah, most people do, because also, and even if they don't, if they pick Griffith Observatory, it's on the way up there.
I was going to say it's on the way to a lot of stuff.
Griffith is, of course, Rebel Without a Cause. It's where the Terminator landed. It's where the Autobots first landed. It's Yes Man. Right, it's the final fight of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It's Rebel Without a Cause. It's Lolly. It's all
on your movie location tour, what is the most movies you can get in one location? It's got to be that, right?
What do you mean?
Well, like if you go to one location, you are now in 7 movies, 8 movies. It's got to be that, right?
Yeah, it's Griffith Observatory or the Chinese Theater, because Iron Man 3, right, and Austin Powers Goldmember and Stars Born and Twins, and and Hollywood Homicide. That goes on and on too.
Do you ever take anybody along the route that Axel Foley drove when he first got to Beverly Hills?
I'd have to look that up, but I do go to City Hall in Beverly Hills because that's the police station where they arrest him, not knowing he's a cop.
Yeah.
I've also found the window where they toss him out. I got thrown out of a window. But I haven't been there yet. But I found it, and until I vet it, I don't want to put it on the tour.
Oh wow, that's a good one. That's a good famous one. I love that scene.
It changed. Like the other day, a guy wanted to see the restaurant from Heat where De Niro and Pacino meet, but I said it's not a thing anymore. Then we drove by where it was, so I got to point it out. But I'm like, you can see how it's just a big nothing now. It's not even a restaurant. This is an empty building.
Kate Mantilini.
Yeah, I went there before, and they had a photo up and showed you which booth it was, and that was pretty cool. But they don't.
I used to see that from the outside. I always thought, it'd be good to go eat in there because it's very obvious where they sit. I mean, it's in the center of the whole thing or whatever.
Yeah. Well, then we go into a Blade Runner triple bill here. So before we leave, as we go past the Griswold house, we take a left, go further up the hills to the Ennis house. The Ennis house is really cool. It's Terry Silver. Is that his name? The bad guy from Karate Kid 3?
Yeah.
It's his house in Karate Kid 3. It's Timothy Dalton's house in The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
It's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. It's got a really unique, cool look to where it also was Deckard's house.
Oh, wow.
Blade Runner. The outside looks like this too. All that crazy brick everywhere. So,
well, they might have. I think I read once because I was always a little confused about this. I believe this is a separate set designed with the outside of the Ennis house as its influence. I don't know if this is in that location. I think it's a set that uses that. I think.
I was told it's the interior as well. The exterior they superimpose into a shot of futuristic LA.
Oh, okay.
But not the interior
look
as well.
That.
Oh yes,
what a cool
Griffith,
design.
The tunnel entering Griffith, yes, is of course the River Road Tunnel.
Town.
It's the entrance to Toontown, and if you think when we get on the other side of the tunnel, I'm not hitting Smile Darn You Smile on my tour.
Yeah,
you haven't taken the tour, so damn straight I am. So then we leave Hollywood area. There's not a great view of the Ennis, so it's not really on the tour. Someone wanted to see it, so we went from the road. You can kind of see, or you go drive up top and kind of look down, but it's a private residence. You're not going inside and seeing this by any means. You can't even really see the front door or the backyard where they shot the scenes from Rocketeer and Karate Kid 3. But there's no mistaking, if you go downtown, first of all, you go through the 2nd Street Tunnel, which is Blade Runner as hell, right?
Not Rocky 4, though. Just,
That's not Rocky 4?
I don't know. Is that Rocky 4?
I would doubt it. That'd probably be Philadelphia, right? So,
with the burning.
Or no, is he in LA? He's in LA by then, so who knows?
That might be.
I have to check.
But wow, yeah, Blade Runner.
Yeah, and once you get out of there, you can arrive at J.F. Sebastian's place.
Wow. And this is open to the public, right? You can go in there, right?
You can. You got to time it right. Sometimes you can't get further than this shot of the lobby. You're not getting on the stairs, but if you could, obviously this is where they shot 500 Days of Summer and The Artist and a bunch of other films as well. But it's these iconic shots you can kind of get from the lobby. You're not going to get the fog and lighting, unfortunately. But yeah, no, so it's open. At least the lobby's open to the public. Just don't get there too late in the day or they'll lock the door. I don't think it's apartments. I think it's all businesses. So like at 5 o'clock, they close it up. But that's downtown as well. It's called the Bradbury Building, which makes sense for a place that looks so sci-fi. And then if you want, thanks, Adam.
Sure.
And then if you want to see police headquarters for Harrison Ford's character,
oops, sorry,
that's
wrong
Union
one.
Station.
Wrong one. Now this is awesome. Yeah, Union Station, man. I think of this every time I go there. What an iconic location. Now that's also one where you're probably hitting about 10 locations as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. I might be able to even have a few here.
But look how Blade Runnered up that is.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's Ridley Scott as hail.
Hey, Ridley, what do you think? Can we just put a couple lights in here? No, I want 12 outside. I want fog in the entire thing. It's going to take about an hour to fog the whole thing up. Okay, Ridley. Thank you. The most complex shoot in the history of movies.
Your thing on him, never taking it easy. Never taking the slow road.
How many extras are you thinking? I'm thinking 150. We were thinking 1,000? Okay.
All right, so just for fun, let me play a couple other things here. So this is This is the same place in Catch Me If You Can.
Oh,
It played a bank. So Union Station, its Art Deco look is in all sorts of
I
movies,
never
including.
caught that in Catch Me If You Can. This is facing the other way, I think.
It might
right?
even be a different room.
No, I think this
Yeah.
is at the far end of it. So if you were to, like, say, take a right somewhere here, like where that divider is between the sections, and go all the way down and look back this way, I think that's the direction of the. Am I wrong? Not
But
sure.
it's deleting. I see what's happening now. When you upload and you see now, this is looking out onto the street, and I think if you went down this way towards that window and took a right, you'd be here. And I think this is
Right.
also where the Scarecrow holds court in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, that would make total sense.
Yeah.
That's so cool. What a great location, huh?
Totally.
Jeez.
And there it is in Pearl Harbor as well.
Oh, so it is.
We want to have a Josh Hartnett heavy show.
Yeah. This is also the Josh Hartnett tour. If you were,
Yeah.
No
And then-
LAX locations for the Josh Hartnett tour, though.
Yeah. And then lastly, you can go north from downtown and head up into Pasadena, and you can check out the park from Shrinking.
Oh, how cool.
I think it's called Central Park on Raymond Ave. I haven't been over there yet, but all the heart-to-hearts that Harrison Ford's character has with
Oh,
Jason Segel's daughter in that are on this bench. I got to find that bench.
that's
So
so cool.
That's a mission. And find it and add it to the tour for sure, because people love this show.
Wow. That's
Great
a whole
show,
Harrison
great show.
Ford tour.
It is, yeah. I mean, from LAX to, the reason I don't do West Side and East Side and Hollywood all together is because you spend most of the time driving. But if you really wanted to do all the Harrison Ford places, we could do it. It would just take a while and be some extra fees. Normally, it's $350 for 1 to 4 people, 3 hours in one spot, so you can just see as much as you can.
Yeah.
Usually 10 guaranteed places. We end up doing 20 to 25 most of the time.
We also got to find. I've always wanted to. I've joked about adding to the tour things he built. So I would love to find Sergio Mendes
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
recording studio, which is available. I did look that up. I don't have it on me, but it's findable, very findable. And he built a deck for Richard Dreyfuss, and he built an extension onto a house for some like Helen Reddy or something, like some famous kind of singer of the time. But there's you can find a list of things that he built as a carpenter, which I think would be like if you did the full Harrison Ford tour.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But are they still standing?
Paul, is this location on the tour?
Oh, Jesus, a cop. Ow! Pull over.
Oh no, that's San Francisco,
Yes, sir.
Pull
Northern
over there.
California.
Can't find the plate.
Pull over now. Stop.
We're trying
Pull over
to.
now.
What do you want me to do? Stop right here in the middle of the road? Don't you have any
Right
respect for the
there.
law?
Keep going.
You're not a law officer, are you, if you don't have respect
What's
for the
eating?
law?
What's in your mouth?
Nothing?
Pull over. I'll shoot out the tire.
Go ahead. Why didn't you shoot me, huh?
I said
Killed
stop.
maybe 3, 4 innocent people. Go ahead. Roll the window down.
Yeah, so this location right here.
Sorry to disappoint you, officer, but we're on the match.
Oh, yeah? What do we got here?
The closest
like a
he came to
narcotics
playing a
substance to me.
T1000.
It's
I
one
love it.
lousy joint.
A restaurant.
Ah, come on, man. You got nothing better to do than hassle long hairs.
My life, friend. I love my work.
We take down his number.
Make it easy for you, lady. It's 54362. Name is Falfa. Officer Falfa. F-A-L-F-A.
I ain't nobody, dork.
Ain't nobody, dork.
Wait,
There's the deep cut trivia. What was Officer Falfa's badge number?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like all 10 pointers,
15
Harrison Ford.
points. Yeah. There's that's San Francisco, right?
Yeah, that's San Francisco.
Here's something else I found because it never hurts to look at this. That's
It does
Demi
not.
Moore at the end of
Striptease?
Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, or not the
Oh,
end, but
Full Throttle.
her lair of sorts was in Union Station. So again, more Union Station.
Really?
Outside Union Station
Oh, look at
from
that.
Hail Caesar.
Love it.
And then as mentioned, there's the Scarecrow's
Oh,
courtroom.
right. That is Union Station. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great scene. Look at that set. Look at that Terry Gilliam set design.
Totally. I bring all this up to say, well, none of the downtown locations are on my tour yet because it's just such a pain in the ass to drive down there. What I want to put together is a biking tour. So I got to get together with a bike company, a rental place, and put it all together where we could rent bikes and go around and see a lot of things much quicker. 500 Days of Summer, plenty of heat shot down there. And much more.
The great one is the hotel from True Lies, because a lot of places you go to as a location and you go, oh wait, but for example, what we were doing with Union Station. Oh wait, oh yeah, gotta look at it from this way. Oh, now I see it. You walk into the lobby from True Lies and you go, I'm in True Lies. I am in True Lies. There's where he comes, and there's where he goes, and there's what this happens, and there's where
there's the elevator. Yeah.
I am in True Lies.
Totally.
But then you walk out that lobby, and around the corner is the Bank from Heat. That's like a one stop, one block, little thing.
And not far from there, the hotel, the Sedgwick from Ghostbusters.
Right.
Even though that took place in New York, their first job was at the Millennium Biltmore downtown. So yeah, and when I went in there, it's like, yep, this is the hook. There's where Slimer flew around the thing. This is where they come in from off the street.
Now, you and Bart Caius went there and had drinks once, because there's like bars.
Oh, yeah.
Just walking off the street.
Yeah. You're right.
But did we find the actual one with Slimer? where this,
If I didn't, then I did with Karen, because I know I've been there.
Yeah. Because it's like, I think there was a couple we went to where we were like, oh, wait, is this one? And then we went to another one and I go, no, this is the one.
Because it looked like a private event chamber in the movie, but I think it's just the bar. I think it's just the regular bar.
I think you might be right.
At least it is now. Maybe it's morphed a little bit. But that's all downtown. So there's plenty of good stuff downtown. You just gotta.
And they're redoing the firehouse downtown. A lot of people, the famous firehouse for Ghostbusters is in New York. Well, and it's turned into an art space. So like, I've seen the renovation sort of things, and it's south of downtown, but that's kind of where things are getting built up again. So the renovations of sort of downtown and adding new sort of pockets of things, that is one of the things that's been renovated, which is the interior of the firehouse. The exterior is in New York, but the interior is in downtown LA. So when you get the downtown LA thing, by that time, I think that place will be open again. It's
interesting because the one time I went there, it looked like The Walking Dead down there with people. I hate to say, but it was like unsafe. I'm not sure I'd want to take guests, but if they fixed it up, hopefully it's been a number of years since I went there.
Yeah. No, it's a little post-apocalyptic down there, but I think the sort of south and southeast downtown, it's kind of built up over the last like decade or so, and kind of become, like around Angelino wineries, that sort of, like that nice area. It's getting nice and kind of just flowing downtown. So I think that's now kind of like where they're renovating some stuff. But
yeah, there's like Maud Lebowski's loft is downtown. Axel's apartment, even though it was in Detroit, was shot down there. Captain Marvel, of course, the big scene on the train ends at a station down there. Big fight scene ends down there.
And of course, Paul, the Roslyn Hotel. Is it the Roslyn Hotel? Which for me, let me see if I can find an image of it here, which for me is very famous because I was an enormous fan. Yeah, here it is. And then I'll have to download a separate thing here as well to show you. But this is the location from the Spider-Man TV show.
You would find that location.
Now that is not going to be on your tour. Let me see if I can upload it here. But I got to tell you, Paul, as a as a nerd who grew up on that sort of shit, when I walk around downtown and the Hotel Roslyn is, no matter where you go, you're kind of walking past the Hotel Roslyn. Let's see. Here's a shot of it. Oh, in the wrong format. I could just strangle it. Really just killing it here. Come on. Never mind.
I will share this real quick. This building, it's across from, let's see if I find the best version of it, maybe. Of course, don't forget La La Land. All shot all over there. Angel's Flight and Grand Central Market. Let's see, where is the Ferraro building? The Ferraro building downtown is another one of those buildings that just looks so crazy futuristic. It's been in a ton of stuff. It was in the Omega Man.
Ooh,
there it is.
They don't make them like that anymore.
It was also in Inception. It was in 500 Days of Summer that I previously mentioned. I think No Strings Attached. Terminator, I want to say as well.
That's got to be Battle for the Planet of the Apes too, right? Or no, not Battle. The third one. Yeah, it's just...
I think it's the Department of Justice. I'm reading here in Nice Guys. Yeah, it was a farmer's market and no strings attached. It was the LADWP and oh god. So yeah, it's been in a lot. Kind of.
That's a bridge I'm looking at there. That's next to that building.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you called it a bridge.
There's a helicopter there. But anyway.
Yeah. So
anyway, that's it. I kind of got to go.
You kind of got to go. Here's the Hotel Roslyn.
Oh.
I'll bring the opening montage to the Spider-Man TV show next week to show you the Hotel Roslyn, and you can add that to the tour, Paul. And what tour is that again, Paul?
It's the LA Film Locations Tour, the Movie Guys LA Film Locations Tour.
So I guess people can request a Harrison Ford tour, right? Which
I suppose they could, yeah.
Cross promo.
I mean, that's the deal. I offer a bunch of places. I'm due for an update because there's a lot of new places I found and another, and vetted that I feel safe going to. But some people just ask for stuff. Like the last tour I gave, someone wanted to see a bar called the Griffin that characters on New Girl would go to.
Okay.
I've never seen New Girl. I looked it up. It's in Atwater Village. We drove by. There it was.
I don't watch TV. Some people do. I heard it's good.
Yeah. Well, I had one dude from Germany. He was like, I want to see all the 90210 places. And so I found like 5 of them. Of course, they shot at Griffith Observatory as well. The place where the newspaper is, the Walsh House where Luke Perry lived, and all these other places. Was that where Luke Perry lived? I found where Luke Perry lived and other members of the cast.
Yeah.
And then someone else came and said, I want to do 90210, I want to do Entourage, and I want to do The Hills. I'm like, okay, I don't watch any of these shows, but I put it all together because the German dude gave me all the 902. I just had to look up Entourage, and it's also tough with like if there are 9 seasons of 90210, like what are the famous locations? They got to pick from like either the credits or frequently visited places, or one huge episode that was like everybody knows.
It's like I could tell you if you were a non-Lebowski fan and trying to find Lebowski locations, I would be like, it's not really the most famous thing or whatever, But
right now we just have Subject Security, Johnny's Coffee Shop where they sit at the bar all the time and they get you a tow, and then the Dude's House, which is in Venice. Yeah. But it's tough to see because it's down a row, but it's there.
Yeah. Well, there's the street where the car, hits the.
Yeah, I'd have to find that too, where he drops the cigarette in his crotch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll have to look up some of the Built by Harrison. That can be a separate topic. We'll cover one of these.
I built the LA Film Locations tour. Adam, you build the Built by Harrison tour, and then we'll have 2 tours.
And of course, the obscure Lethal Weapon location store, because for some reason I know the most obscure locations from Lethal Weapon. But.
Well, look, we go to where Riggs jumps off the building. We go to the Stilt House from 2.
Right.
When I go downtown, Chinatown will be included from Lethal Weapon 4 for sure. Of course, when you go to the building Riggs jumped off, right across the street is the strip mall where they go in and have a talk. You want to die? All that.
Take a nibble on the barrel, pull the trigger.
Yeah. Put it under your chin. Put it under your chin.
But it might go through your ears, not kill you. I'm not afraid.
What do you want, man?
Oh, damn, I love that movie.
What else do I have from there?
You got to go, man.
I did, but now you got me curious. What else do I have from Lethal Weapon? I had it written.
Well, there's the beach house, but that's just a section of beach. Of course, there's the where Riggs gets shot through the window. I think that's on Montrose and Heliotrope. That's one of them I know. There is the bridge that he jumps off of to fight. What's his face? Mr. Joshua, who drives underneath it, which I drove under for years and didn't realize, but the Western Exterminator sign is right there. Yeah. And after working in Los Feliz and making that my commute route, I finally watched the weapon and I go, I know that! I know that location, but nobody else does. But
there's and then there's the Wiltern, the theater of the Wiltern. Yes. It's in the background. They get a hot dog and they're talking about something. So
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And Paul, this is the most Movie Guys crap ever. Everybody listening will enjoy this. You will enjoy this. I love Lethal Weapon so much. I mean, that's one of my top 10 movies of all time, that I knew that location already when I went there and I go, this is the location where he gets the hot dog. That's how well I knew it. And I was like, that means that coffee bean and tea leaf is the bank lobby where the guy starts screaming at Roger, kill them, Roger, kill them. And so every time I would catch the train there for one of my commutes, I would go into that coffee bean and tea leaf. And in my head, I'm like, I'm hearing, kill them, Roger, kill them. Anyway.
All right. So stand by for the Stuff Harrison Ford Built tour.
Yeah.
I'm off to see Faux Renner. Hopefully Mick Jones shows up, so then one member of Foreigner is included in the final show of theirs I will ever see. Yeah, I think that's all we got. Is that all we got?
Yeah, Paul, I had to return a rental car today from 3 weeks in Las Vegas. And since I still had the car this morning, this is why I ran back and started the show. Since I had the car, I'm like, I'm going to go do my errands that require heavy lifting because I don't own a car. So I went and got the heaviest groceries I could, bottles, things filled with liquids, drove them all back here. But I have had to renovate my aquarium. So I bought everything I needed to renovate my aquarium and a bunch of new little fish and shrimp and snails for my aquarium. So it's going to be all pretty. I will give you the before and after next week. I'm sure everyone's interested.
Oh yeah. Does your bike just sit out in the rain when you're doing that?
It does. I gotta take, that's the next thing is I got to take that to the bicycle kitchen, which is now in Los Feliz, I think. And they'll give you all the tools and everything to repair everything on it. So I'm gonna make a couple Saturdays out of that, and then it will get covered once I've fixed it back up. But yeah, it's been sitting in the rain. So
There's it shouldn't get too bad rain.
Paul gave me a free bike, and it just sat there like a. It's very sad, but it's going to be fixed soon.
Yeah. But there was no bad damage or anything from the rain or anything at your place.
Nope, just tons of leaves. I mean, the thing is, we're pretty high up here on the hill. I did go down to the New Beverly to see a.
You did do that.
Yeah. I was like, shelter in place. They didn't say which place, so I went to go see a triple feature of Evil. This is the perfect way to wait out Hurricane Hillary. Evil Dead 2, Superstition, and Trick or Treat, the 1986 Trick or Treat, Superstition from 1986. That was a hell of a night. That was a lot of fun.
Music by Fastway, if I'm not mistaken. Trick or Treat.
You
right?
are correct.
The 86
one. You are correct.
That was a great soundtrack.
Yeah, a pretty good soundtrack. Yeah, I do enjoy that movie too. And it just, watching those three in a row. I haven't been to the New Beverly in 3 weeks because I've been in Vegas. I'm like, it's the perfect acclimation. I'm like, settle in and watch one masterpiece and two trashy.
That's so Adam.
So it was just pouring down in between Evil Dead and Superstition. The water was cresting the sidewalk, that sort of thing. When cars would go by and you'd see it come up to your feet and you're like, if it keeps doing this, it might make it to the lobby of the theater and then we'd all have to leave. But by the time I exited of Trick or Treat, the rain had stopped. So
yeah, and then today it's sunny.
Today it is the most beautiful day you've ever seen. Once again.
Very strange. Right. All right, that's all. Until the next show. Bon voyage, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
1, 2, 3. Hey, look, come on, get out of here.
Hey, that's mine.
Come here. Ah! Bitch! Asshole! Move, police! Move! God damn it! You all right? Watch out! Move!
But Spider's not a bad fellow. But Spider's not a bad fellow.